Welcome to this tutorial, and this is a Microsoft Word based tutorial, and we're basically going to continue from our previous lesson where we introduced Microsoft Word, and in this tutorial we're going to specifically concentrate on the one of the tabs, which is the Home tab, and we'll look at the groups that are associated with it. So let's get off. Okay, so when you open Microsoft Word and you open a blank document, this is what you expect to find there. This is basically a blank document, and this is what we're going to use to learn. So, like I alluded earlier on, we're going to look at the Home tab and the groups that are associated with it. So the groups are the clipboard, the font, the paragraph, the styles, and the editing. We're going to mainly concentrate on the font group, and what we're going to do is we're going to go through each one of these here and see how to apply them or what do they do to our text. So to begin with that, we're going to use some text, and this text is basically so that we avoid having to type text. Okay, so there is our text, and this is the text that we're going to use in our lesson. So let's assume you've already typed this text and you are ready to get started. So the first thing we're going to start is what we call the font style. So the font style is found just here. So this is the font style, and when you put your mouse, it will tell you what happens with a particular button. Now, you will notice that all the groups here have got a button on the bottom left, and this basically is what we call the dialog box launcher, and it basically gives you more options that can be done on a particular group. So in this case, it is a detailed now view of what basically I can do under the font group. As you can see here, it's font, which is just basically here. So let's now get to use the font style. So there are two ways in which the font style can be used. You first highlight the text that you want a particular action to be done, and after that you basically choose from the font style there. So you have a lot of font styles, and they are arranged in their alphabetical order. So as you move around each of the font style, you notice that the text in the background will also be changing. So let's use this for a start. So let's assume I have decided to choose the Sergio UL font style, and after I've done that, then it is now in this font style, and I can see that is not font style. If I highlight a particular text, I should be able to see what font style that text is. Let's take, for example, I highlight this text here, and I'll go back there and I'll notice that this is a Calibri body font style that has been used for this one. So that is basically about the font style. So there are many of them that can be used. Depends on your preference or what you've been asked to use in a particular task. Now, next to the font style is what we call the font size. Now, from the name itself, it's basically how big or how small you want your text to be. So I will select my text here, and I can drop this arrow here, and as I move through the text, you notice that my text will also be changing in its size. So if I take it, let's say, let me take it to 8, you notice it will be lessened, and I'll basically leave it on 12, which is very commonly used. So that is about the font size. Now, next to this font size is also two important letters or parts of the font group, and these basically just do the same thing that the font size do, but in this case it's basically a button that I'll press to increase the font, or a button that I'll press to decrease the font. So let's see, basically try it. So each time I press this button, my font increases, and each time I press this button, my font decreases, and as it decreases, it also displays what font size my text is now at that particular time. Next to the font size is what we call the change case, and there are basically 4 types of change cases that can be used. Which the first one is the sentence case, the second one is the lowercase, the uppercase, the capitalize each word, under the tangle case. Now you'll notice just even from the naming here, how they are named and how they've been written is basically how they will appear even when they're used. So the sentence case, we know it will always begin with a capital letter and end with a full stop. Lowercase will basically mean everything will be in small letters. Uppercase will be everything will have be in capital letters. Capitalize each word will basically each first letter of the word will be in capital. And the tangle case is basically the opposite of the capitalize each word. Each of the first word in a letter will be in small letters and the rest will remain in capital letters. So let's begin with the first one. So the first one, we don't expect anything to change because this text already is a standard sentence. So let's start with the second one, which is the lowercase. So when I choose the lowercase, you'll notice that now everything that I have in my text here is in small letters. I can take it to uppercase, which will transform everything to uppercase. I can go to capitalize each word, which means every first word of the letter will be in capital letters. Or I can do a tangle case, which will mean every first letter of the word will be in small letters and the rest will be capital letters. Or I can basically take it to where it was, which is the sentence case and the ideal mode of writing. So that is basically about these patterns. The next one that we have is what we call the clearing format, and this basically clears any format that has been made. So it is basically brings it to a default arrangement of the text. If I click this one, it will take me to the default, which is 11 and Calibri body. So that is what this one is used. Now below here are other buttons which are also very important, and the first one that we have is what we call the bold, and it basically will make your text bold. So if I choose it there, then there you are. You see our text is bold. The next one is italics, and basically you will make your text in italics. There you are. The next one is underline, and it will basically underline your text. Now you will notice that these buttons that we have just tried to use here, each time the button is active, it will be kind of highlighted. It will be kind of highlighted, and you'll be able to distinguish it from the rest. So these three here have been used here that are currently active. So which means if I want to deactivate them or I decide not to use them, I basically have to just click on that button again, and you will notice that my text is no longer underlined. Or if I don't want them to be bold, I'll basically click on the bold button again, and you notice that my text will no longer be bold and the buttons will no longer be highlighted. Okay, so that is about the three buttons there. Now under underline, there's an arrow there. This arrow basically gives you the liberty to choose what type of line to use. So you can use this line here, you can use the dotted line, you can use the thick line there. It is all up to you. Next to the underline button is what we call a strike through. Now the strike through is basically used to cross something out by drawing a line through it. So I select my text and then I choose the strike through, then the entire text will have a line striking through each one of them. So for as long as this button is on there, it means that button is active. So I need to deactivate it if I don't want to use it anymore. Next to it is what we call the subscript, and followed by the subscript is the superscript. Now these two buttons are used in fields, mostly in the science field and in the mathematics field. Let's assume I want to write a formula, H2O, for example. Let's assume I want to write H2O. So H2O will be the H2O. There we are. Now we know so much more that this is not how we write H2O in chemistry. The 2 has to be in below, somewhere below, and for us to place the 2 in its right position, we use the subscript. So after that, then there you are with your H2O. So that is basically what the subscript does. Now after a subscript, we have the superscript. Now the superscript is mostly used in mathematics, where you have powers, or you have equations which carry a power with them. So for example, I have maybe say 2x, and I want it to be 2x squared let's say plus 3x cubed. Okay, now I have this text there, and my intention is that I should have 2x squared. So what I'll do is I'll select the 2 there and give it a superscript, and then I know that I want the 3 to be cubed, the 3x to have a cube there, and I'll go and use the superscript. So basically that is the whole function of the subscript and the superscript. Next to these buttons is what we call the text effect and the typography, and this basically is just there to beautify your text, and depending on how you want it to be. So you can choose how thick you want your text to be. You want your text to be outlined, you want it to have a shadow. All those are different types of things that you want to apply on your text. Okay, next to it is what we call the text highlight color. Now this one basically will only highlight your text and not your entire document, or not the background of your document. So if I click, I highlight what text I want, and there my text has been highlighted. Now I have an arrow next to it, and this arrow basically will give me the color that I would want to highlight my text with. So I can decide to choose any of these ones. If I want it to be in purple, there we are, I can choose purple. I have to basically go there and then do that, or I can leave it to red, go there, and there you are with red. Or I can basically decide not to have any color there, and it will be so. Next to it is what we call the font color. Now we talked about the font style, and also we talked about the font size. Now this one is the font color. It will basically change the color of the text. So if this is my text there, okay, so let me just deactivate this one. So I just highlight my text there, and then I choose, in this case, red, because that's what was chosen prior some time back. So you can still decide to choose which one you want now. You notice as I move on the colors, what happens? Basically, it is only the text that changes the color of the text. So let me leave it on blue maybe. Let's take green. Okay, I'll leave it on green. Now you will notice that there's a difference between the text color and the highlighting. The highlighting will only highlight where the text is, and will leave the text color to be the way it is. So let me just select this text here, then I'll highlight it, let's say with the color, let me highlight it with this color here, or let me use yellow. Now if I use yellow, you notice that the text has been highlighted, but the text color has not changed. It is still green, because that is what these buttons are. So that is basically what the font group is all about. I hope you have learned one or two things. Thank you for watching. Let's meet for the next lesson, where we're going to discuss about the paragraph group.